Okay, question. Should you buy the Samsung Galaxy A53 or the more affordable Galaxy A33? Both of these devices have a lot in common, probably more than differences as far as performance goes. For starters, they share the same Exynos 1280 processor, same software, similar build quality and design, but one is more affordable. So, what exactly separates these two? Let's find out. If there's one thing common with most of the A-series devices released earlier this year, it is the design, especially the top three, that is the A33, A53, and A73. Today we are looking at the Samsung Galaxy A33 and A53 to see if the similarities go beyond design and if there is enough to separate these two to justify choosing the A53 over the A33, especially since they are basically the same performance-wise, thanks to the Exynos 1280 powering these two smartphones. First off, on their pricing, the Galaxy A53 starts at $449 or 220,000 naira, while the A33 costs about $100 less, that is 183,000 naira. Interestingly, there was a recent price drop for the A53 here in Nigeria. I'm not sure for how long, but you can currently pick it up from Jumia for about 208k. Some regions are also offering the Galaxy Buds 2 with the A53, which is a steal if you ask me. Now, if you decide to purchase either of these devices, you can support the channel by using my affiliate links, which will be in the description. I also have individual reviews on both of these devices, and the links to those will also be in the description, so you can check them out. Now, both devices, like Samsung flagships, no longer come with a charger in the box, just the device and the USB cable. So there's basically no difference in the unboxing experience. They both have the same 5000 mAh battery capacity and support 25 watts fast charging, and you'll need to spend extra to get 25 watts charger. It actually needs to be a Samsung original charger or at least one that supports power delivery. So your 33 or 67 watts charger from another brand will likely not fast charge either of these. Believe me, I have tried. Now, both the Samsung Galaxy A53 and A33 have similar design and build quality except for subtle differences. They are of the same height, both built with plastic on the rear and glass on the display. On the frame, the position of the volume keys and power buttons is lower on the A33. The Galaxy A53 has a glossy frame, which looks the more premium, but the A33 gets a matte finish on this frame and it feels better on the hands. The SIM slot on the A33 is at the top frame, while that on the A53 is at the bottom frame. They are both dual hybrid SIM slots and both support 5G, no 4G versions for these two. Samsung has also removed the headphone jack from both devices, so no charger and no headphone jack regardless of which you choose. They both get IP67 water and dust resistance, so you can expect the same level of durability for both. Turning to the display, you can see the obvious difference. While they both have the high quality Samsung Super AMOLED display, the Galaxy A53 has the better looking centered hole punch design, while the A33 retains the Infinity U design from its predecessor. The A33 also has a thicker chin compared to the A53, which by implication has the better screen to body ratio, so better media consumption experience. Display quality, however, is similar. Both get good brightness levels and give you that quality you'd expect from a Samsung AMOLED display. Now, they both get stereo speakers and you can expect similar audio quality. Another difference in the display department is the fact that as of now, the Samsung Galaxy A33 for some reason lacks the always on display feature, which is common for AMOLED displays. I believe this feature can easily come with a software update, but it beats me why Samsung omitted it in the first place. The A32 and A22 from last year had it. The Samsung Galaxy A53 also gets the advantage on the screen refresh rate, having the higher 120Hz refresh rate compared to the 90Hz on the A33. So that's smoother animations and scrolling for the Galaxy A53. For this region, both devices come with the same memory options, both 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal memory. On RAM Plus, they get the same options up to 6GB if you ever need virtual RAM. Onto the software, both devices provide the same experience, that is Android 12 and One UI 4.1, and they both will get 4 years of OS upgrades and an extra year of security updates. Comparing their performance, you can expect similar experience aside the smoother 120Hz on the Samsung Galaxy A53. Both will handle anything you throw at them just fine thanks to the Exynos 1280, which is a pretty solid processor and great upgrade from their predecessors, even more massive upgrade for the A33. For battery life, while they both have the same battery capacity, the A33 will have the slightly better battery advantage thanks to its lower 90Hz refresh rate, which will drain less battery than the 120 on the A53. The gaming experience is close and you can expect the same graphic settings on high titles like Call of Duty and PUBG Mobile, though the A53 will get the slight edge because it has a higher screen refresh rate. Being powered by the Exynos 1280 also means that they suffer the same fate when it comes to optimization for high graphics games, which is more on the developers than on Samsung, but a couple of updates should get them up to speed and give them the deserved performance worthy of the processor, which is very capable. The cameras of the Samsung Galaxy A33 and A53 might be different in hardware, but they are actually close in performance. The A53 has a higher main, ultra-wide depth and selfie cameras, but when you take a look at the photos from both devices, you can see very minimal differences. They are actually really close, especially on the rear cameras. Processing is very similar, and that is understandable since they have the same processor. The A33 has a smaller 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera, but looking at the ultra-wide shots, I say it measures up real good. One area though where the A53 shows good advantage is in the AI. The scene optimizer works better on the A53. It easily detects scenes compared to the A33. For the selfie cameras, the image quality is also close, but I'll lean more towards the Galaxy A53. The difference is minimal, both look great and will impress you well enough on their own if they are not put side by side. They are both capable of shooting videos at 4K 30 frames per second both from the rear and selfie cameras with optical image stabilization on both.
Okay, so this is the rear cameras of the Samsung Galaxy A33 and A53, currently shooting at 4K 30 FPS from both cameras. They both have OIS, so let's see which has the better stabilization and then which has the better video quality and then maybe microphone quality. But this is the rear camera test, both shooting at 4K 30 FPS, and you can get ultra steady if you switch to 1080p 30 FPS. Let me just try running. So let's see which would be more stable. Yep, that is the Samsung Galaxy A33 and the Samsung Galaxy A53. Let me know what you think. Okay, hello YouTube. This is a video comparison the selfie cameras between the Samsung Galaxy A33 and Galaxy A53. Currently shooting at 4K 30 frames per second. They can both do that. Let me know what the microphone sounds like and what the video looks like, video quality. Both 4K 30 frames per second. They don't have OIS on the selfie camera, but they do on the rear camera. So they both look great from the viewfinder, but you guys decide which is better.
Here is slow motion video from both devices compared. When you look at how close these devices are, it just shows that the user experience from both will satisfy you regardless of which you choose. So if you are looking to save costs, you can get the Samsung Galaxy A33 and expect similar level of performance as the A53. But if you want the full package, you can't go wrong choosing the A53 as you get the higher screen refresh rate, better display design and the slight edge on the cameras. Even better if you are getting it with the Buds Plus add-on or at a reduced price depending on your region. But if for any reason you have the Exynos phobia and would rather use Snapdragon, you can consider the A52s 5G, which also has the headphone jack. So there we have it. Differences are not massive, performance and overall experience is close. So you tell me which you choose between the A33 and A53, or if you believe there's more major differences between them than I covered. I'll be waiting for your comments. Do not forget to give this video a like if it was helpful and also consider subscribing to the channel. Peace.